There is a plenitude, a fullness, a completeness in this gospel, which for centuries was the last gospel of the year, a cosmic scene, the elements crumbling, the powers of heaven, stars and all falling, and the Son of Man coming. We refer to it every time we sing the Creed. The last day, the resurrection, and the one who will judge the living and the dead. The great King, the one who has the last word, despite what the powerful of this world may currently think. This last week, I was quietly in retreat in a place where only one thing goes on: love, adoration, and worship. It helps to refocus on the Alpha and the Omega, and to let certain things go by. This morning, I was reflecting on this last Sunday of November on the issue of the communion of saints, the issue also of the link between us and the angels, great and small, from the top to our notable guardian angel. It's a huge invisible family, and the greater part are on the other side. Now, it's kind of important to pause a while, and if you don't have the possibility of making a retreat, remember that it has to happen in some shape or form, otherwise you won't be ready when the last call comes. And that, of course, is the great ploy of the enemy. Make sure that the soul is not cared for. So I took this up and I'll share it with you. Because what came to me is this: given the shortness of our time, the question that we can't avoid is this: what St. Paul said to the Lord at ground zero, thrown off his horse, emptied of his self-sufficiency. Lord, what wilt thou have me to do? Because until that happens, we can actually waste forever the precious gift of time doing what is secondary. It's important, my friends, that if we're serious about the Lord, that he be Lord, and therefore his will can only be picked up essentially in one place. Quiet, meditative, listen, attentive prayer. Otherwise, we are emitting. Even vocal prayers are emission if we're not careful, and the Lord can't get a word in edgeways. So, for him to adjust our time, our life, we must give him space. And there is nothing which can take the place of wordless contact at times. Meditation, gazing, emptiness and complete stillness. Because even in our interior words, we can be blocking the Lord out. And if we can't face it, then we're not taking care of our soul. We're not listening to the voice of the centuries and of passing time. We are bombarded by the immediate and can't see further than the immediate lamppost. So listen to this. The realm of the angelic, the realm of the beyond. St. Michael. He has a lot more to do with our soul than we think. Remember, he was given greater power when he valued the good angels. He had not been the most brilliant angel, but he was made so. And this soul asks the soul in purgatory, what is the best way of glorifying this angel? And the answer comes back, the most efficacious way of glorifying him in heaven and on earth is to recommend as much as possible devotion to the souls in purgatory. Remember that, my friends, it's a secret, because sometimes one gets through the gratitude of the souls in purgatory, things which even the saints have a job to obtain for us. It's known. And to make known the great mission he fulfills with regard to the suffering souls. Listen. He it is who has been charged by God with the duty of bearing them to the place of expiation and of introducing them after satisfaction to the eternal abode. Hence we see, remember, in his hand the great scales. Each time that a soul comes to increase the number of the elect, God is glorified by her, and this glory has, in some way, its counterpart on the glorious minister of heaven. It's an honor for him to present to the Lord souls who are, listen, going to sing his mercies and unite their gratitude to that of the elect for whole eternity. Now that's some vision for you. A soul coming now out of purgatory and entering into the realm of song, beauty, angelic praise, shared by angel choirs and humans. Bliss. I'm incapable of making known to you all the love that the celestial archangel has for his divine master. And by the way, he it is who protects the Blessed Sacrament. I've told you before the story of a nun I knew who has now gone to her reward. When she was a young nun, in those days when he was still on the altar rails, and she was there, and the priest whispered in her ear, "Sister, follow that man. He's got the Blessed Sacrament." And so she went after him, and she was young at that time, and ran after him and caught him. And said to him, "I know that you have the Blessed Sacrament. Please give it to me, it means a lot to me." And he denied it. And she insisted, and he kept denying it. And she, being a woman, didn't feel she could go any further without engaging in physical force, which she couldn't do. And she was about to back down when she heard inside her this: "Stand your ground." And she looked at the man, and suddenly his face changed and went something like this. He went into his pocket, pulled out the host, which by then was crumbling, threw it in her hand and went off towards a place where she knew that there was a satanic center. And she came to and said to herself, "What happened there?" And she realized that voice was, as she put it, that of Michael. And in the case that happened recently in Donegal, it could have been the same angel that took the host out of that unworthy person's hand, put it in the air, and brought it back to the ciborium of the priest. He, St. Michael, gives us encouragement in our suffering, that's in purgatory, by speaking to us about heaven. People just don't think of it in the world. When they lose parents and friends, they say a few prayers, weep for a day or two, and that's it. souls are left abandoned. It's true, they deserve to be, because they didn't pray for the dead on earth. And the divine judge does not give us in the other world what we've done in this one. Those who have forgotten the souls that suffer are forgotten in their turn. It is only just that they should be. But had someone inspired them to pray for the dead, had someone given them some idea of what purgatory is like, they might have acted differently. Now, in a retreat, one tries to come out of it in such a way that there's no need to go to purgatory. So if one doesn't have at all in one's life the possibility of making a time apart just to take care of one's soul and to get one's acts together, then the risk is that it will start after death. The soul never looked after. Unfinished business. Here, an element of what binds us to heaven in the communion of saints. Listen, what happens on a feast day. What glory does St. Michael receive from his earthly feast? When a saint's feast is celebrated on earth, he receives in heaven an accidental glory. Even should this feast not be celebrated in memory of some heroic act or other which he did during his life, or of the glory he procured for God on some occasion, in memory of this, he has in heaven, nonetheless, a special reward at that time. This reward consists of a doubling of accidental glory, coupled with that brought to him from the remembrance that is made of him on earth. It's rather like a birthday on earth. The saints on their feast day can obtain things for us when they're invoked. Remember that, it's a trick. The accidental glory that the archangel receives is superior to that of the other saints because the glory I'm speaking of is proportionate to the greatness of the merit of him who receives it, as also to the value of the act which has deserved this reward. My friends, life is not that long. If you don't believe me, stand by a grave. And as someone said, we're dead.